seeds?
So it has a mat.
Mat.
It comes with a mat.
Special tray.
Yeah, you can just pick up your paper napkin, wet it up, and then put the seed down. As simple as that. We use something called burlap types.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
But can you give us like steps, like 1, 2, 3 steps to grow microgreens? Because I have been testing it for the past 2 weeks and I am unsuccessful.
Okay.
I'm trying to grow wheatgrass at home in the mushroom small packs which we get. I kind of put the holes in it. The bottom end I put some soil in it, and I put the wheat, soaked it all through the night, and then kind of spread it, and I put a little layer of soil. But the problem is, for 2 of them, I see they are sprouted but not well enough, and I see mold too, because I kept it in the house. I'm trying to see for winter I'm preparing instead of growing it outside, and I see mold. So how do you avoid that, and how do you grow it?
In our setups, in any of my, even in the home setup, we put a fan. And there has to be air circulation, good air circulation. Mold forms when there is moisture without any heat around, or I would say without any air circulation around.
So the location of
They are
which is
in-
placed in the pot
Yeah.
has to change.
And if it's forming mold, you
They
have
are
to
in
be.
a sunroom, there is heat all the time, and there is.
How about
Just
air?
water.
Air circulation. How much of water are you putting? How often does it drain well? So there are
Once a
multiple
day,
things.
and if I see moist, I am not watering it.
Okay.
And it is in the sunroom, which is
And
like
what
a
soil
hot
did you
place.
use there? But anyway, let's take it offline.
Okay.
Yeah. Because each and every box will have extreme details. And in my, I will show you an album which has steps 1, 2, 3, 4 to do in terms of microgrids. Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure that you
Yeah.
talk a little bit about the in-ground and the trellis support, because that's what we typically do.
Yeah, typically do,
most of the time.
yes.
So are you going to talk about those later or
No,
not?
let's do it now.
Okay. All
So in
right.
terms of in-ground, it's the most usual way of doing it.
Yes.
If you have soil, just dig it up and then put it. But ensure that you make the soil a little fluffy. Right? Roots, if they will try hard to get inside. Right? And if they spend all their energy in trying to get hard inside in terms of the roots, the production will be less. So if you are helping them a little bit by making the soil a little fluffy, by adding all the potting mix and all that stuff, it will help. So this is the picture of a bendy ladyfinger, and also along with, by the way, ensure that you put kind of nutrients. Nutrients doesn't have to be your miracle grow. Nutrients could be your compost, but then put it often. Right? And the moment you build your soil over a period of time, it will have its own living organisms and it will build it up. But then, if you're starting fresh, figure out a way which methods you want to. There are multiple methods of growing. Permaculture way of doing it, natural way of doing it, using light nutrients or high nutrients. So there are multiple ways of doing it. So you have to really figure out on what you want. Right? Just ensure that watering is not the only inputs to the plant. You need to have nutrients too.
So basically where my soil is, my backyard soil is very clay and red, literally has no nutrients in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So I do, when I dig and put those in, try to put in some potting mix, but
Yeah.
maybe the depth wasn't good enough. So what's an ideal depth, let's say for a windy?
Your top 8 inches is more than enough.
Okay.
So these plants can grow in 4 inches also. Right? 8 inches is an ideal depth. I mean, otherwise you'll spend a lot of time digging and then adding a lot of amendments. That's the reason instead of doing that hard work, I go up in terms of putting a bag.
Oh, okay. And talk a little bit about the trellis support with those type of plants.
Yeah, this is the ridge guard plant. All these plants are coming from the bottom. You see the white bags?
I see.
Yeah.
There are 4 white bags that's coming out, right? And they are not more than this size, right? And has gone through the bags and then it has got inside the plant there.
I see.
So it's not that the plant is coming all the way from that bag, but that's a good start. It has a rich nutrient-rich soil. It's a good start, and then it.
One of the types of the gourd. So
Right.
basically, you are suggesting that you put the seed in the white bag first, or is that? I mean, and then so that gives it.
Okay, to that level of detail, I first put up a seed in a sterile potting mix.
Okay.
That is coco peat.
Okay.
Right. I want to ensure that there is no organisms that is eating up the soil, eating up the seed.
Okay.
Once it germinates, to a level of few inches, and I move it to the bags like this with a kind of nutrition mix,
Okay.
potting mix.
Okay.
And then that's equipped with irrigation timers and watering every day. So it just grows from there and then it gets into the soil.
So what kind of bag is that? It doesn't look like the
This is a very cheap plastic bag.
plastic.
Yeah. You get it for 20 cents or so.
So basically, you cut the bottom off.
No,
before
it has holes. It has
Oh, it
holes
has
in the
holes.
bottom. The roots will find that hole and then go through that and go and get inside that.
I see. So where do you buy these bags?
Amazon.
What are they called again?
Grow bags. Just look for a plastic. But I suggest you avoid the plastic ones. Go for the black ones like this, because they will come for at least 5 years. This will get away in 1 year.
But these cannot penetrate, right? I mean,
They will penetrate.
Penetrate?
They will penetrate.
They
Yeah.
have holes in it.
Yeah. Just one. Sorry? Yeah.
Especially the
How do you deal with the squirrels and
The deer, yeah, I use multiple techniques. I put up a net, a black color net, a simple net. I put it around the plants. Deers will not pass through that. I mean, they can jump through, but then they know that they can't come back out of it. So they know that, so they won't come through that one. My net is covered from the bottom, and so bunnies can't get in. And it's a cheap $10 net. It's there. It's about 50 feet wide, so you can get it in Home Depot or Amazon is fine. You can buy that. Squirrels, I can't stop them.
they can climb?
Yeah. Yeah, just grow more. Grow more. I use
They have their share too.
So I use a electronic repellent, animal repellent. It works sometimes, but you need to figure out which frequency should be to be set for squirrels.
The motion is.
It detects the motion and then gives out the electrophotonic sound. Yeah, yeah.
So when you, oh, sorry.
Sorry.
This indoor in container sale,
Mhm.
and I understand that we have set temperature inside the house, but we all normally know that the thermostat is not close to the window. So near the window it's always cold.
Cold or hot, yeah.
So how can I manage?
It doesn't have to be precise. So if your typical temperature in the home is 70, 72, whatever you put it,
Yeah.
minus about 3 to 4 into that area. As long as it's above 60, you're good.
Okay.
And you also put a light,
Yeah, but that light doesn't emit any heat. It's an LED, so it doesn't give you any heat.
sunlight, I guess.
Yeah.
In Georgia, do you recommend that light if you put that at the window?
Make your calculation on all these investments. What you're getting out of it. Right? Send me the calculations. I can help you making that.
So when do you suggest starting the gardening, like early spring or end of the fall?
Oh, that's Uma is the best for that. She has big blogs on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Questions in the back.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, my question is, you touched it on a little bit, ROI, right?
I'm sorry.
Like ROI, return on
ROI,
investment,
yeah.
Right? This is like, I've been doing gardening for a long time, it's literally a money pit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Spending so much on this.
Yeah.
So, but if you go to Sulida, you can buy tomato for about 9 cents.
Yeah.
So, the key is, what kind of vegetables do you grow?
Hmm.
To, one, yeah, there is a health aspect of it. But then, you need to make, it has to make financial sense to grow the vegetables.
Well, there are things.
So the question is, what kind of vegetables do you grow? And
I'll put it this way. Look at the expensive vegetable that you want to buy. Try growing them. Right? That gives the better return on investment. But I would look at it this way. If not for gardening, I would spend the time in something where I burn money, add calories to myself. Right? And if I'm looking at my future in terms of my health, I would think this is a high return on investment for me.
Can I answer this question?
Yeah.
So you can make dosa for the whole family at $8, but you could have anywhere to eat dosa for one person for $8. Yeah. It's the same thing.
One question can I add?
Sure, sure.
Gardening doesn't have to be buying stuff and putting it into your garden. Right?
Exactly.
Just stop buying stuff.
Yes.
You will have an absolutely productive garden. I harvest every day, 365 days of the year. Atlanta has fantastic weather. So just, Aurora is good. Just tell them that. Don't buy stuff. Yeah.
So, again, when you are contacting Uma, talk to her about the natural way of growing it. She's best in that one. I'm a little unnatural in that. Yeah. For me, I can't just wait. I'm sorry?
There's no one best method.
Oh, yeah.
Grow food, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Like I buy a lot of stuff from Southern Harmony Farms.
Oh,
So I have curry leaf from you guys. It's great. It's really great.
thank you.
Can I add to that one?
Sure.
So what I use is, I see the frequency of buying. The things I have to buy frequently that I grow more in the garden.
Yeah.
Especially the coriander, curry leaves, tomatoes, cucumbers, which I've seen like every grocery trip, whatever I get it, and to reduce those grocery trips, then I try to then grow it in the garden.
The basic thing is what you put in should not be more than what you get, and you can do it.
I think there is a question here.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips to save the in-ground plants in the winter?
No, we can't. Just best is to accept it. If they're not hardy, they will not. They'll not grow. They will not survive.
Spread them more and freeze them, I guess.
Sorry?
Grow more in...
No, I think you should take rest in the winter. Why do worry about it?
Drumstick kind of...
Yeah, take them inside. Now you can put a greenhouse, you can heat them up, you can do all that. Again, for the drumstick, you can put it inside the house because you have enough rooms. Every home has minimum many bedrooms which you don't use, so convert them one into that. Make it into a greenhouse. I know few people who make the entire house to be... No, I'm not telling about you. A lot of these people, hubbies, they get scared when the winter comes up. and Rick is one guy here. Okay, so growing can be smart. I've run a company back in India, Smart Gardens. I always use the word smart. It's not that I am smart, it's because the concepts are smart. You don't need to really work too hard to grow. What are the main things that keeps you tied up to the garden, where you can't go for vacation? Watering, right? And weeds. Weeds are okay, they will wait for you. Right? Worst case, you will see a lot of them, you will feel bad and they'll pull them up. But watering is something which can't wait. So from the beginning, I'm quite fascinated about this technology of drip irrigation. Invented in Israel multiple decades back, heavily used across the world. Entire Indian agriculture is getting into drip irrigation. And best part is, in the United States, the equipment are available for cheap, dirt cheap. For the amount of returns that they give, it's very good. Use your drip irrigation depending on the types of gardens that you have. On the left is your inline drip irrigation. Every few inches it has a hole, right? They are highly scientific. They are pressure compensating emitters. So irrespective of the amount of water you put in, it emits the same amount of water out from each of the hole. Imagine you have thousands of those holes. Each of them will give the same amount of water. And on the next one is the spot drip irrigation, wherein for each and every pot you can put one each. It's just one-time investment, one-time effort. They will last for multiple years. And then your irrigation timer, it's hardly $30, which saves you your worry from your vacations. Right? It will let the water go every day at a given time. You can say 7 o'clock in the morning for 20 minutes. Every day but not Sunday. You can do all those permutations and combinations. You have simple IoT devices which are less than $70, where you can control your irrigation timers even when you are on vacation, if you're missing them, right? And shade net. For past few weeks I have observed that the temperatures are above 90. Most of my plants got burnt. Right? They will survive, they will revive back, but then why to let that happen? Right? Though I knew about it, I was lazy. I didn't do that, so I lost some of my plants. So I'm going to go for shade nets next year in a specific area, about 200 square feet area, where whenever there is going to be this kind of summers, I will move my plants, or I will decide a place where it's going to be that particular plants and I will have a shade net. Shade net can be in multiple types. It's a black one, that's the most cheapest one, it's a good start. But then you have an aluminate, right? It avoids radiation, it diffuses the light. It's not black in color, it's in aluminum color. And then it reduces the temperature under this that particular net by about at least 5 to 8 degrees, which is going to be big for your plants. You can find out online, Amazon, you can find them up. It's about $70, $80. So I'm going to do that for, and trellis. Most of your gods would require some kind of support. Right? This net is not more than $20 for the entire length, 50 feet. So just that you need to spend time and money on hooking it up onto your walls or support systems. So you can put the bags underneath, and you can, in the previous picture what you have seen, that's how I grow my gods. You can use that. You can use your walls all around those type of structures. One lesson learned after doing this is maybe you should give some space from that particular wall to the trellis so that your back wood doesn't get spoiled. But in few weeks, anyway, not in few weeks, in a few months, anyway, when you're going to remove it, I feel there would be enough air circulation, so try it and learn it then. The next one is the hydroponics in the vertical tower. The full thing that you see is about 12 lettuce heads, different types of lettuce heads, grown in 1 square feet area. That's for people living in apartments, having balconies, want to grow within that given confined space. You can still do that. It's completely done with hydroponics with no water, no soil in that. It's the nutrients supplied with water. Each of them are in-depth topics, so you could connect with me later to discuss on that. I'm just giving you a glimpse of what all can be done. The misting system, whenever you have the heat, depending on the plants, you could use this misting system. It runs on the timers again. It produces that mist which cools down that area. Right? But again, excess moisture is bad for plants. Right? Moisture on the leaves are bad for plants. So it has to be operated at a time in the morning so that when the sun comes up, it dries out the whole thing. How much time do we have? Yeah.
If I have to give you time, it's going to be hours more. I know that we're all we've got a lot of questions, but I think we also need to go to the next segment.
Yeah.
So, but we'll definitely plan more sessions on gardening, so we can learn a lot more.
So if you want to find me, Sasikant.Vallam. Her husband's name is Shashikant.
All those sketches. All those sketches.
Mine is Sasi, SASIKANTH.Vallam.
Because gardening people were a little envious when I married a very young guy. We're good friends, but we are related.
KANTH.Vallam@gmail.com.
Dot what?
.Vallam, VALLEM. E for England, M for Malaysia.
So is it V or W?
No, it's V. V for Victor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll share.
Just contact one of us and we'll give you the other details.
At gmail.com. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And this has been another segment which has kept us all totally engaged, and I'm sure we'll take advantage of. I think if you talk to Uma or Shashi, we'll get into winter gardening. So there's no respite from gardening when it comes to the year cycle with them. They've always got ideas for us to do next. And let's quickly move on to the next segment. Having got our hands dirty with composting, those worms, and we'll go on to the next segment where we have Netra, who's going to come and show us how we can make some household cleaners, non-toxic household. There's a small token gift that we have from Green Cell for all of you. So please remember to take your gift when you walk out the door. And thanks so much for joining us today. And if you want to join us, for volunteering with us at the other initiatives we do, or you want to contact one of the speakers and learn more, you can just reach out to us on our Facebook page, or look for us with the digital badge and we'll connect with you.
You can just pass these products around. So while you guys are looking at these products, while I'm setting up, I'd like you to just look at the labeling, read the ingredients, and kind of see what conclusions you can come to on your own.
Should I pass it?
Yes. It's okay, I have a little slice. Hi everyone, so in interest of time I'm just going to keep it moving, but as I'm speaking, feel free to pass around the products that I put out and just look at the ingredients, read the labeling, and notice things like the color, the name, anything like that. So thank you for having me. This is my first experience working with Green Cell. So my little presentation today is going to be about toxicity in cleaners and products that are saturating our market. So a little bit about myself. I am a senior at the University of Georgia. When I entered UGA, I wanted to come in as an agriculture major. My mom said no. So I did what every good Indian girl would do and majored in MIS, in IT. So I am a senior. I am managing an MIS in International Certificate in Sustainability. So in college, I really wanted to make sure that I was pursuing sustainability as that is my passion. So I have been involved with a variety of things, from the global strikes. How many of you guys have heard of Greta Thunberg and what she's doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I skip class every Friday, don't tell my mom, but we strike for the environment every Friday. The big global strike is happening September 20th, so make sure to look at your local strikes. I'm also an intern at the UJ Office of Sustainability. So I work with housing and I mentor freshmen in this program called the EcoReps and teach them how to live more sustainably and promote recycling, composting, and other things. So when you guys look up at this screen, what are you noticing about these products? Feel free to raise your hand and shout it out. I saw your hand? Yeah, it is plastic, that is true, it's all packaged. What do you notice about how it's advertised?
Natural,
Yeah.
made with natural products.
Fruits, sweet honeysuckle orange peel. Ooh, sounds so natural, sounds so fresh. Coconut milk, natural mineral deodorant, fresh skin apricots. And this is a thing that we see in a lot of products that are out in the market. They're trying to advertise others with green packaging, like the product that you're holding. Can you read one of the top 3 ingredients in that, if you see them?
Water, cetearyl alcohol, amometicon, I can't even pronounce.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. We can't even pronounce it. So why would we put it on our bodies? So this is a phenomenon I'm actually in Terry College of Business and we study marketing and other things like that, psychology behind it. And this is a phenomenon that we see called greenwashing. So greenwashing is what this video is kind of going to demonstrate to us. Yes. This is kind of a... Oh.
The false advertising industry has been behind almost every major breakthrough in advertising. We invented subliminal advertising, the classic before and after. You can't put a price on that dream. Who doesn't want a big... But our latest breakthrough has been more effective at reaching both men and women than we could have ever imagined. We call it, you ready? The natural effect. I'd like to say that creating the natural label is an art, but it's not. It's just not. Your product may contain growth hormones and antibiotics. Just throw that word natural on there. Maybe add a picture of a barn. By adding natural to your package, you increase purchase intent, and then people think you're just as healthy as organic. We pride ourselves on this kind of confusion. Your product may be very heavily processed, but what? A barn? works every time. We have a standard application form that we send to companies to see if their product is a good candidate for the word natural. Do you wish your product were natural? Now, the beauty is there are literally hundreds of chemicals, persistent pesticides, and GMOs that the FDA does not object to when using the word natural. Oh no, looks like we have a reject. Oh, no, this is just in the wrong bin. Alright, there are those who may question the effectiveness of the natural label. Believe me, we tested more truthful alternatives, right? Nobody wants to buy chips that are kind of natural. Yogurt with one thing natural. 10% natural salad dressing. Made with partially natural stuff. Not effective, but all the work that we did do wasn't a complete waste of time because we were able to come up with some very powerful modifiers. All natural. And its big brother, 100% natural. And now we're coming up with ways to make 100% natural a little better. We're taking it to a whole another level. Scientists were recently able to take the genes from bug-killing bacteria and cross them with the genes of corn to make the corn pest-resistant. It's true, totally true. You can Google it. I know some people are like, that is disgusting. How dare, what on, oh. They think it's unnatural. Well, right now it's on the shelves as 100% natural. So, but if you ask me, by genetically combining two organisms, that's 200% natural. Food companies come in here and they think they have all sorts of problematic issues, right? They're worried that their product is so processed that it bears no resemblance to anything actually found in nature, right? It's full of hormones or chemicals or ingredients that nobody can pronounce, not even them. I love to see the look on their face when I tell them, hey, you know what? None of that matters. We can put the natural label on pretty much anything. Although my favorite part is when I show them what their packaging will look like with the natural label. I love helping people. It makes me feel like we're a nonprofit. Only totally for profit. Money, money, money. But helping is that's the best part.
Right, so that kind of gives you guys a little bit of an idea and a comical sense of what greenwashing can be. So just to sum that up, greenwashing, also called green sheen, is a form of spin of green PR. So it's when people put stuff like natural and eco-friendly and bio-based on products, because those words are not regulated by the FDA. Anybody can put that on. Whereas if you label something organic, that has been tested and certified and other things like that. So be very careful not to be fooled by products and stuff like that. And the best way to do that is to read the ingredients. So if you raise your hand if you currently have a product in your hand that I passed around. Okay. Can you read?
Rainbow violet. I don't see the ingredient.
Okay, that's okay. Does anybody else have a product in their hand? Okay, sweet.
The ingredients of this disinfectant multi-surface cleaner: water, sodium lauryl sulfate, copper sulfate.
Okay. And what about, oh, we already read this. Anybody else have a product in their hand? Can read the top 3 ingredients in it? Yeah.
It's a moisturizing body lotion. Aqua Brassica.
Yeah, see, well, pretty much the point is most of those are not even recognizable, or we can understand them and we don't even know what they are. So that's why it's so important to read the ingredients of the products that you're buying, because these chemicals and these hormones and unnatural substances in our products have serious effects on not only the environment, but also our health. So these are a list of some of the very, very common ingredients, which I'm sure some of the products I passed around have at least 10 of these that are found in these products. But yeah, these are a lot of times very hazardous for your health, but there's no regulation on them in these products. And in fact, the European Union bans most of these chemicals, but they're still used in the US. So in terms of health effects, synthetic chemicals in these products have been proven to, one, disrupt estrogen production, as they can enter in your endocrine system through your blood, through your skin. When you apply something on your skin or use something in your house and are constantly breathing it in, your body is a very absorbent vehicle. When you put something on your skin, you can absorb about 60% of what is in that product. So it's said to weaken in the immune system, disrupt estrogen production, cause premature aging in the skin, again, disrupt endocrines, contains carcinogens, and the list goes on and on and on. So it's really important to be aware of what we're putting on our bodies. In terms of environmental effects, well, we all see that we're holding plastic. These products don't go away. Once you throw them away, where is away? We're putting them in landfills. A lot of times they're getting put into rivers and streams. The production of these products, very, very bad. There's runoff going into waters, and these chemicals don't just go away. Whatever's not absorbed by your body and your skin, they go down their drain. A lot of times they're so small they can't even be filtered out, so they just go into the waterways. So it's very important, again, to read the ingredients and be very aware of what you are purchasing. So a big win in the environmental movement was the ban of microbeads. Did anybody hear about that? Yeah, so microbeads were plastic exfoliants that were in face wash. Who wants to be washing their face with plastic? So these were little exfoliants that were in face wash, and they found out that they weren't being able to be filtered out through the typical water streams, water filtration systems. So when they got into the lakes, the fish would mistake them for plankton or little microorganisms or eggs, and then they would get toxic, and we eat fish. So it's all a cycle, so that's why we need to start purchasing properly. Aerosol is another big one, those hairspray cans, very bad for the environment, ruins our ozone layer, things like that. And also excess purchasing. All of these products that I handed out, I'm not trying to shade my family or anything, but I picked these out from my family's house. Why do we have so many products why do we all have so many products? If we open our showers, how many products are we using? A lot of times, one simple, good quality wash can wash your hair, can wash your body, can even wash your pots and pans, because they're all natural ingredients, so why wouldn't they get the job done? And again, runoff into ecosystems. So is this the future that we really want to be looking at? Is this the future that we want to leave behind for our children? And every single purchase we make really holds a lot of power. If we keep investing in products that have toxic chemicals, we keep over-purchasing and over-consuming products that we really don't need. Why do we need a separate cleaner for our windows versus our floors versus our granite versus our wood? A lot of times we can just use the same product. If it's natural enough and if it's light enough, it's not going to damage those surfaces. So we need to really think critically about what we are buying and how the effects of what we are buying stay behind and leave a mess like this. So consider the future, consider your future. And this is not a call to action saying go home and throw away every single product you ever own, because that's not practical, but once that product is done, you can start phasing out and purchasing new products, which I will show you how to make, and I'll also go through some of the own products that I make and use. So definitely consider multiple use products. A great product that I use is Dr. Bronner's Castile soap, and it looks like this. It's like the green one right over here. And it can be used in 18 ways. It says 18 in 1, and it comes in different scents. And yeah, and it's awesome. You can use it to clean your floors. You can use it for your skin, shampoo, body wash. And the bottle looks pretty small, but the point is to dilute it. So it's pretty concentrated, and you can dilute it, and it'll show you the different dilutions for the different products you're using it for and different purposes. Shampoo bars and bar soap is really great because it's not packaged. A lot of people are against bar soap because media has taught us that, oh, it's really drying on your skin. But if you get a really nicely made bar soap from maybe a farmer's market or Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Sprouts, something like that, it's awesome because it's packaging free and will last a lot longer. Body wash is diluted. It's pretty much bar soap with water. Body wash, you're paying mainly for water and other chemicals, whereas bar soap, it's all concentrated right here. You just need one swipe and it'll lather just fine. Coconut oil, I'm sure a lot of us when we go back to India, our patis put coconut oil on our hair and we use it for our skin and it keeps us nice and fresh. Oils like this, in one ingredient is coconut, we recognize it, we can eat it, if you can eat the stuff you're putting on your body or the stuff you're spraying around your house, then that's how you know that it's good for your body, and you breathing it in and being around it a lot is better for you. And a lot of times, I think Uma had mentioned this earlier, that we're so afraid of germs. We keep cleaning and spraying our house all the time. We keep putting on hand sanitizer. This is weakening our immune systems. This is unnecessarily introducing chemicals into our households that we just really don't need. So we can really just take a step back, and if we feel the need to constantly clean, maybe use some of the more all-purpose, natural products that we will make. And yeah, packaging-free, zero waste, organic, these are all investments in our future. I know it costs a little bit more, but think about the long-term outcome of what you're doing and how we're influencing our market to keep producing these toxic products. And ingredients you can read. I hope that reading those ingredients out loud really stuck with you guys, because I remember when I first did this activity, I was like, I can't even pronounce this, I would never eat this, so why would I put it on my body? Yeah, and again, just consider really what you're putting on your body and how that affects you. So, chemicals to avoid and resources, these are great websites where it'll give you a list of things you can do. Even this website right here, you can go to it and you can look at some of the products that you have at home, and hopefully they'll be able to send out this deck to you guys. But you can look at the products you have at home, enter the product name, and it'll tell you which chemicals are on the no list, which are on the warning list, and which products are probably healthy. So thank you, and I can show you guys a little bit about how to make these products. So I'll just make a small little batch of it, and then we have glass jars at the back where you guys can, I guess, participate and make them as well if you want to. So these are all, oh yeah, I can talk loud. I'm a loud talker. Yeah. So these are all oils that I use at home for making my own products. So sweet almond oil, castor oil, coconut oil, stuff like that. And I even make my own face serum. So I saved this bottle from my mom and I just make it on my own. I just put sweet almond oil and then I put a few drops of essential oils. So essential oils are great. They're nature's fragrance, they're nature's healers, they're awesome. And I bought this set on Amazon for $12 and it comes with the 6 essential oils that everybody should have in their cabinet. So that's peppermint, eucalyptus, stuff like that. And these are great. They're great for, I'm sure you guys have seen the trend with infusing oil and breathing that in. It's really good for your body, and it's also really good to make nice cleaners and shampoos. And even if you're struggling with hair loss or something like that, if you put a drop of rosemary in your daily shampoo, that can help invigorate and stimulate growth. If you're struggling with migraines, peppermint is great. It clears out your sinuses, stuff like that is really helpful. And there's solutions you can do at home without constantly buying new products that are probably pumped with chemicals. So for the household cleaner, this is an all-purpose cleaner, and pretty much what we're going to do is I always save glass bottles from when I go grocery shopping, and these are some homemade soap bars that I made, which I will give away because I have so many. But so for the household cleaner, it's so simple. I bought this jug of vinegar for $2. So all you have to do is take 1 part water, 1 part vinegar. I don't have water with me, but I'll go fill it up later. So just, if I fill up the vinegar to here, oh, perfect. Yeah, I have water. It's really just eyeballing it, it's not a science. So 1 part vinegar, 1 part water, and then however you want to fragrance it with your essential oils. So tea tree oil is the best to use for an all-purpose cleaner because it's naturally antibacterial, antimicrobial, so it promotes good health. And the thing is, in your house, you don't want to have a totally bacteria-free zone in your house because you're living there, you're human, it's benefiting our immune system. So it's important to leave some of that stuff to build immunity. So I just shake it up, and that's literally it. And then I can just put this on a towel. I can even transfer it to a small spray bottle like this. Whenever working with essential oils, it's always important to get glass bottles. And even better if it's ambered glass, so it kind of shields it from the light. But I just put in a spray bottle like this, and I can spray any surface with it. I use it on glass, I use it on wood, granite, whatever, and it's really helpful. And I even use it right on my laptop and just wipe it. So as you guys can see, it's easy as that. Water, essentially free. Vinegar, this much for $2. This will last me honestly a really long time in itself. So It's really as simple as that. So I really encourage you guys to get creative with how you're making your products. Like you said, you save money. It's like printing money. So if you have all these ingredients, these oils and stuff at home, these last me. I've had this bottle for 2 years. So just to put things in perspective. And yeah, that's
Do you
pretty
have any suggestions for a cleaner, especially flu season?
for flu season. So you can invest in really cool companies like 7th Generation and other like sort of natural products, and you can look online for like a great list of toxin-free like cleaners. But yeah, I would go ahead and invest in those type of brands because they do take out a lot of the chemicals. If you feel uncomfortable with making something totally natural, then you can go for something a little bit more industrial. But honestly, like I feel like these work just fine and just great. But if you do feel like you want that extra kick, then go and look at those brands, and you can buy them at Kroger and Whole Foods. Yeah.
Can you save it in the bottle for a while?
Yeah, this, like I have this at home and it's awesome, and even like 1 part water, 1 part vinegar, I spray it on all my fruits and vegetables, let it sit for 5 minutes, and that's a good fruit spray to get rid of any pesticides on it. Just don't add the oil to it, the essential oil to it. Yes.
The mixture that you make, just spray it on the vegetables.
Yeah, like before I plan on washing them and cutting them, I just spray the vegetables with 1 part water, 1 part vinegar, and it'll kill like any pesticides and stuff. And then when you rinse it off with the water, it'll get rid of all the dirt and stuff.
Yeah, no, I've been using the combination that you mentioned. One thing is you might want to be careful if you have marble countertops. You don't want to use it on marble. It does create a kind of takes a layer off. It's not good for marble, at least from my experience.
Yeah, okay, that's awesome. A good tip. And I'm sure you can find some like DIY marble cleaner online, and you can just kind of follow that recipe. Pinterest is a great place to look for these type of recipes.
Yeah, you can add baking soda.
For a mosquito repellent, probably anything with a one of these essential oils like eucalyptus or peppermint, because those are strong smells. So if you just mix that with like a part water, maybe, I wouldn't put vinegar right on your skin, but like if you mix that with a little bit of water and maybe like a drop of vitamin E oil, then like that smell itself will like kind of...
Peppermint gives the spiders away too.
Yeah. And they're not toxic for you. In fact, they're benefiting you by being in your household.
Someone was circulating, for the mosquitoes, they were circulating, to take a lemon, have a lemon wedge, and then not lemon, cloves in it, and
Yeah.
leave it in the...
And citronella oil works best for mosquitoes.
Which one?
The citronella?
Citronella, okay.
That works best for mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Do you have anything for the bathroom?
Does they work for
Potties
any bug
and
spray kind
bathrooms
of
and
bug?
cleaner?
Oh, like air mist
Toilet.
or like
Toilet, yeah, toilet.
toilet cleaner? I don't, but I'm sure there's tons of stuff on the internet. I also use a 7th Generation toilet cleaner, and even for like sprays, this is a funny name, but it's called Poopery. Instead of using Glade, which like sits in your air and you're breathing it in, you spray this directly in the toilet. It's an essential oil mist before you go to the bathroom, and it like prevents any smell.
Baking soda.
Yeah, baking soda for odor is great.
I've been using these homemade products for last 4 or 5 years, and I have no complaints, even for toilet cleaners, just water, baking soda, and maybe a little bit of dish soap in it, and it works fine. I have 2 boys, so...
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely look into alternatives, because this is way, way healthier and cheaper long term than consistently buying these products, producing more plastic, and just putting, for lack of a better word, crap in your body. So.
So you make these cleaners every couple of weeks?
Yeah, honestly, this right here will last me like 3 months, because I don't like once or twice a week, just a little bit. And I usually put in a spray bottle to make it easier to access. And even what you can do is you can buy like thin towels and put it in here, and the towels will soak it up, and then it will become like a disinfectant wipe. So you can
I
just wipe
use
it.
that as a wood cleaner as well, for the floor mopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can do so
All
many cool
natural
things with
vinegar
it.
and water, and a little bit of dash of lemon juice in it.
It's perfect, yeah. And the smell will be so nice afterwards, because essential oils linger a very long time.
So how many people are interested in getting a sample? Because we can make a little bit, and we have some bottles in the back, so we could make a
Yeah, you can make them.
So I'll get the bottles.
Okay.
Did you say you have enough to put away the soap or?
How did you make
Oh
the
yeah,
soap?
you can take one of these.
How did you make
This is
the
more of a
soap?
hand soap. What'd you say, sorry?
How did you make the soap?
Oh, this soap?
Can you explain how
Oh yeah. The soap, all I did was I took like a flat pan, put wax paper, then put a layer of, well I made this with like some kids at a school near my college, but that's why it's green and it's all colorful. But you can do like cocoa butter, mango butter, do a mixture of that, and then add like glycerin. There's a lot of cool recipes online. It's very easy. And then you just like put it in the fridge and it'll solidify, and then it's just like soap. And then also like this bar of soap was like $3. It's like all natural. So like looking at the natural bars of soap are way better. They're less drying on the skin too. Oh, also another really cool tip is dry brushing. If anybody has heard of that, it's a great way to like exfoliate your skin and get rid of the toxins that build up from using these products. So you just kind of like do this in motions like towards your heart, and then it's supposed to naturally get rid of toxins in the body. And zero waste toothpaste. Dry brushing, yeah.
How does natural toothpaste? What are they doing?
This zero waste toothpaste? This is just, zero waste charcoal toothpaste. So I just take my toothbrush, I'm pretty sure it's just baking soda and charcoal. Yeah, I just take I have a bamboo toothbrush somewhere here, probably in my bag. But I just take it, dip it, and then I brush it. Yeah. There's so many cool, innovative new zero waste things
and
coming
coconut oil. Salt and coconut oil. And you can use that for,
Yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, bamboo brush. So you just like dip it and then brush. And so it's really cool stuff that you can do. And also a brand that I really like that's really good about giving back to environment and local organizations is Lush. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Yeah, it's a little pricier, but it lasts me a really long time. And I see it as an investment in the future, so why not? But yeah. And they're really cool because if you collect 5 of their little products, they give you like a free face mask, and they'll take back the plastic.
Am I allowed to share a free tip?
Yes, please.
If you have tomatoes, like take tomatoes, cut it into half, and rub tomato on your face. That'll be your vegetable face mask.
Yeah.
Same thing for cucumber, tomatoes, lemons. Lemon, you might want to be a little bit careful because some folks break out, so it's acidic. So you want to be careful. You can add a little bit of water, or mix it with Kira or something else.
Yeah, and speaking of lemons, like after I'm done squeezing lemon, I'll dip it in sugar, and I'll use it to scrub my elbows. It just gets rid of like discoloration and stuff. So just get creative is the bottom line, and try to avoid buying as much as you can, because like we have all these things in abundance in our own homes, so we might as well use them and save money. Especially when you're a college student, you want to be on that budget. So yeah. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you so much, Nathan, for this. Very interesting, and it's been a lot of information. A lot of stuff that I didn't know, and I didn't realize that we could do this so easily.
So easy, yeah.
I mean, we've heard about it all, but able to do it so easily is one thing.
Exactly. Does anybody want the soap so far?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's more of a hand soap.
But anyway,
We have one more session lined up for you all. So please continue sitting for just another short while more. And this is going to be a very interesting one, at the end of which we'll get home with our token gift that we have for all of you. So I welcome Pankaj. He's going to be talking about recycling, right? I mean, all of us know, and we've gone through this whole day of understanding how this one-time use plastic is to be surely avoided. And we're all here for that reason. I mean, we are aware and we are conscious about this. And when it comes to recycling, it's always a conundrum as to can this be recycled or not. And Pankaj will now give us a little more insight into it. He is one of our core members and needs no introduction further. And for the Netra's talk, if you all want any further information, again, please send us an email and we'll send you all details about the PowerPoints, and it'll all be on our Facebook page. We also have this whole session actually live telling, right now being live streamed. So the live feed will actually be available for you as a link. So it's all out there.
Hold horizontal.
Okay, so can everybody hear me? Yes. Okay, so thank you everybody for staying back. So thank you for coming on a Saturday and spending time with us. What we are going to talk in this session is about recycling right. So when we say recycling right, it's about, so we, in all our sessions, when we started looking at how much we buy, how much stuff we buy, what happens to that. Oh, you cannot hear me? Sorry. Okay, is this good?
Yes.
So with all the stuff that we buy, right? And what's happening with that? When we all have a trash can at home, we have a recycling can at home, but it's not in front of us. We drop something in it, and it's behind our eyes. We don't know what's going on after that. So we get a lot of questions about what can be thrown in the can, what cannot be thrown. So I'll start with a sort of a game kind of thing. I'll show a picture and we'll try to guess, can it be recycled kind of thing, right? It's like, yeah, please go ahead. Okay, so which bin does this go in?
Trash.
Trash, right? So, yeah, please. So if you see here, it's wrapper kind, right? So you have bags of every kind, you have chips bags. Most of them are plastic, but most of them are mixed plastic. So there is, to preserve the food, something has been mixed to the plastic and it cannot be recycled anymore. So imagine, especially when you have kids at home, imagine the number of bags that you go through in a week and then you go through in a year, right? So that is all going to trash. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so this is styrofoam, right? Styrofoam, we use it for our coffee cups. You buy food, you take away food, your egg cartons, all of that is the styrofoam that you get. What happens to that? So any guess, where does that go? Trash, right. So styrofoam is again trash. One option that we have for styrofoam in our neighborhood is Publix. So Publix has a bin which takes styrofoam. So it has to be clean, it has to be dry. So you can put your egg cartons there, you can put your coffee cups, plates, those can go there.
What Publix do exactly?
No, they are just trays, Pankaj. They say phone trays.
No, they say trays, but any food tray. So the styrofoam that your TV came in, you cannot put it there. Okay, not your packaging styrofoam. But what you see here, right? Your egg cartons, your takeaway containers, if they are clean. So any food styrofoam that can be put in Publix.
All Publix have accepted or?
Most of the Publix in this area have it. I don't know about.
They have it.
Yeah, I have seen it in Forsyth and Fulton.
Do you know what Publix does with it? Because the styrofoam cannot be broken down.
So what they compress it, so it gets taken over somewhere, and I don't know what, but that's a plastic that is mostly recyclable. Most of the cans that you see here are recyclable. The only one thing that is not here is, because this has some metal parts in it, you have to make sure, use your judgment, make sure if something sort of looks mixed, throw it away, right? So, okay, this one. Yeah. So this is the category we hate. This is the category we hate most, right? So where can all this plastic, end of the day it is plastic number 4. Okay, so your plastic bags, everything has number on it, right? Number 4 plastic is recyclable. But where does this go? All your plastic bags, where can you throw them?
Trash can.
Back to the store.
They have to go in the trash can, or you're right. The other option is most grocery stores accept it. Now there is some background behind it. We'll talk about it later. What happens to your bags when they go to grocery store? It's again not all happy ending. Just because you dropped it there doesn't mean it's going to get recycled. Okay. Okay. The biggest thing to remember is it never goes into the recycling bin. Why? Because this is what happens. When you put a grocery bag or any kind of wrapping bag in your recycling bin, these are pictures from where all your recycling stuff goes. They are like gears kind of thing. And your bags get stuck in there. And when there are enough bags get stuck, they have to stop their plant. Somebody has to go and clean it out.
Actually, they are working on a vacuum system, like some of the waste management companies are working on it, like they suck it up. But it's a very expensive project right now. They are still working on it. I don't know when they'll be able to make it like.
Right. I read about that. So we'll go to a slide after this. So actually, that's a good segue. So let's go there. Okay, one last one, and then we'll go to that. So this is again all. Where does this go?
Trash.
Trash, exactly. So this is all trash because anything that is small, anything that is smaller than 3 inches, even if you put it in your recycling bin, when it's going through the recycling facility, it is going to fall somewhere. There are the way the system is, it's not going. It's going to the landfill. So you might as well throw it in your trash. So before we talk about the recycling facility, where does our trash go? Just for information, right? Most of us don't know what happens to our trash. So we put it in a bin, a truck comes in, it picks up, and then it's beyond us. We don't know where it is. So not far away from us, about 30 miles away, in ball grounds, there is a landfill called Eagle Point Landfill. You can look at the scope of it. It's 233 acres. That's 130 football fields. So that is the amount of trash we generate, right? So see that this landfill gets 2 million tons of trash per year, and there, Sandesh, what was it? 2030 is when this.
Yeah, 2030, which is about 11 years from now, it's going to be full capacity, and I don't know where else will we put it after that.
Because now nobody wants a new landfill near their house, right? Everybody wants landfill, but nobody wants it next to my house. So when we talk about California, Oregon, New York, they all compost, and they seem to be greener states. They all ran out of their landfills. So that's the reason, because those states do not have any more new landfills. New York sends its trash to Pennsylvania through their river barges. California sends it to Nevada. So in 11 years, we are going to be there, right? There won't be another landfill for us. So the recycling part and the thing about what we generate, how much trash we are generating, what we are buying, how much we are buying, that is where we have to connect those dots, and that is what we are trying to show you. Okay, so I'll come back to recycling. So most of the recycling goes to a facility called Materials Recovery Facility. The picture that you have here is a manual kind of MRF. They call it a MRF. And the one that you were suggesting, right, nowadays they are coming with automated MRFs, where people don't have to sort it out. So here usually what happens is, most of the places, you have belts of all the recycling material going on, and you see one person here. There will be people standing, so everything that you put in your recycling bin, it goes through a conveyor belt. There's a person standing there. That person's job is to just pick something valuable out of it. So your iron gets picked up through a magnet, right? Iron is super easy. Aluminium is again super easy because they put an anti-magnet, they pass current and they can pick aluminium out of it. Everything else, paper cardboard boxes sort of bubble up because they have gears, the gears that we saw earlier. but everything else, mostly plastic, has to be picked up by a person. Okay, so I hope this video runs. It's a 5-second video. We might have to look at it 2 or 3 times. Pay attention to this person. Okay, I'm going to play it one more time. It's a very short video. But see what she is doing and see the amount, see what is passing away. If you see, right, she's collecting something here. This all looks one type of material. If you see, these are most probably water bottles, right? So this is what is typically happening in your MRF. That people think that, okay, I drank a coffee or juice, and it's not empty. Recycling bin, thinking it will get recycled. End of the day, there is a person on the other end who has to pick it or make a decision at that time. This doesn't look good, I'm not going to pick it, and that person might just let it go, right? So your recycling, the way it has to work is, we recycle because there are 2 aims by recycle. We want to recover that material and we want to feel good about it, right? So if you are doing recycling, you have to do it in the right way so that you help the person on the other end to recycle it. So how should your recycling bin look? So on that other side is the incorrect kind of bin, right? So there, first thing is there is trash here. Trash should not be there. This is trash. This sort of looks like a wrong kind of packet. It sort of looks shiny. Most probably it has foil inside. So that should not be in recycling. And if you see, something is put in a trash bag. So we just saw that video, right? If something you put recycling in a bag, either that the person on that end has to open up that bag, take out each item and then decide, or the simple decision is, yeah, let it go. Okay, so if your recycling bin is looking like that, it's not helping. Most probably everything is going to go in landfill. Your recycling bin has to look like this. All the items are open. There is nothing there. You have paper, you have metal, you have plastic.
But how do they put in the bigger trash can which we can give away to our sewage disposal?
That is how it should be. It should be all loose.
They say bag your materials and
Not for the recycling. Not for the recycling.
You should push for
So-
them to give you a recyclable. You should ask them to give you a recyclable. Unless you ask, they won't give it.
The question was, they have a bin. The question was, in the bin, do you put a bag or not? Yeah, for your recycling, don't put a bag.
So I have a question on the one that says recycled right. I see that the orange juice bottle has a cap on.
Yes.
Keep the cap on?
Yes, that's a very good question. So, till few years back, caps were made out of different materials. Now, most manufacturers use the same material for the cap and the bottle, and they encourage very strongly to leave the cap on. So, and in our county, we checked it out. Our nearby counties, they say cap on.
Yeah, it's same.
Yeah.
Same thing with milk containers for cats.
Yes.
you get one.
Yeah.
So the
Okay,
milk cartons are recyclable?
Sorry?
Milk cartons are recyclable?
Yes. Not
the gallons.
The gallon.
Yeah, so we'll come back about the paper cartons, we'll come back and talk about it. The plastic ones are.
No, those are also recyclable.
No, we'll come back to that. Okay, so let's go to this. Okay, so what goes into a recycle bin, right? If you go at a very high level, cardboard, mostly everything cardboard goes into a bin. Paper, all kinds of paper go in your recycling bin. Metal cans, aluminum cans, tin cans, steel cans, all those go in. Those are the most high value items. That is what the recycler is looking for. So if you can recycle one item, please start recycling metals. Start with metals. Yes, so yeah, we'll come to that. So everything, like obviously everything that you put in your recycling has to be dry and clean. We'll come to that. And then plastics. So plastics, most plastics have a triangle behind them, right? That triangle doesn't mean it's recyclable. That triangle just means what kind of plastic it is. Okay? So we are, sorry, I'll come back to, I have a slide for plastic afterwards. So these are the things that go in. The things that cannot go in, we talked about plastic bags. Plastic bags cannot go in. Anything that is a rope, a string, anything that can get tangled, right, cannot go in. So anything tangler cannot go into your recycling bin. Any food waste or liquid, no foods, again, nothing wet, no liquids, no batteries, batteries go to a different place. Safe sharps, these are the medical, like anything medical. Again, there are different places to put those in. If your cup breaks or glass breaks, right? If something is sharp or you had some construction at home, those sharp things can go in your trash, but not the medical sharp things. Okay, so those are like, I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, so in this list, if you see, there is no glass. Okay, because glass just got complicated. Till 2 years back, you could put glass in your recycling bin. So now what has happened is the biggest company that used to, when we put glass in our recycling bin, all that glass gets mixed up. It's all colors get mixed up. And in the truck that carries your recycling, it tries to compress and take more stuff, right? So glass breaks. So what was happening with glass is the company that was buying from all our Atlanta metro area regions, that company said no more mixed glass. They want separate glass. So most of the companies that come to your house and take glass have stopped taking glass. So if you are still putting glass in your recycle bin, please stop doing that. In our county, you cannot do that. Okay. So it will go there and we will again get to it. The option for Forsyth County, what we have is our county has 3 recycling centers. You can go and drop glass there. What happens there is in the county recycling centers, there are like huge truck kind of things. You drop it there by color, and that glass has super value. Because one thing to realize with glass, right? Glass is recyclable infinite number of times. Glass doesn't lose its quality. Unlike paper or plastic, it has a longer life. So it's a material which doesn't pollute. It's a material which has a long lifetime. So curbside, right? If you look at the cities or the county that you live in, if you are in Forsyth, Gwinnett, DeKalb, you cannot drop off glass in your recycling bin. Fulton is little different. Fulton is city by city. So in Alpharetta, if you live in the city limits of Alpharetta, you can request a separate small crate kind of thing for glass, but you still cannot put it in the recycling bin. Okay. Same thing with what Johns Creek also has, right?
They are okay with that recycle bin.
Recycle bin,
Yeah,
right?
you can
So,
single stream.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
Single stream.
So glass has become complicated. One thing to note about glass is your glass bottles, glass jars, they are different. They are normal glass. But your cookware, bakeware, Pyrex, or any of those, they go through a special treatment so that that glass can withstand higher heat. Those cannot be recycled trash. Any of your bakeware. Okay. Okay, plastics. So we were talking about plastics, right? So the science of plastic. Even though that symbol looks like a recycling symbol, it just tells you what kind of plastic it is. Okay. So there are 7 kinds of plastic. Now there is a ask for a 8th kind, which will be so now there are natural plastics made out of corn. Those can be composted, so there is a demand. People are asking that there should be an 8th one, but today there are 7. For us, fortunately, we live in our counties, right? If you look at the last column, Forsyth, Fulton, Gwinnett, they accept everything 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. The only plastic we cannot throw in recycling is number 6. Sorry, number 6 and number 4. We have to be careful because number 4, if it is a bag, you cannot throw it in the recycling. But if it is a box or a bottle made out of number 4, it is recyclable. Okay. So I'll stop here. Any questions on plastic recycling?
So what Publix does with those plastic bags? I think you parked that question.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. So those bags that we drop in Publix, right, or any of our grocery store, plastic has a very short repeat life. Okay, what that means is a plastic can be made into, so the number one plastic is your water bottle. That's usually the highest kind of plastic. So when you return a number 1 plastic bottle, it will most probably become a number 2 or a number 4 plastic. Okay, so that a transparent bottle becomes a translucent bottle, right? But it cannot again become a transparent bottle because the quality of those polymers have gone down. So any other than number 1, any other plastic that you put for recycling, it can become carpets. It can go as a filler in these things. It can go as fillers in your jackets. Okay. The challenge is your question, right? The challenge is when we return these plastics and they are not clean. The company that is making carpets, right? It has 2 choices. It can buy virgin plastic and everything will be nice and clean for them, or it can try to get this recycled plastic for somebody, and then there is not much guarantee. It may be clean, it might not be clean, and then their product starts smelling or their product is of lower quality. So there are not many companies or there is not much market for recycled plastic. So the challenge is even if we give lot of bags back, I read it, but I could not find that number back. The bags that we return in those stores, about 30 to 40% of those bags are being burned today because there is nobody asking for it. So the solution, right? We see the problem that there are so many bags. Each family very easily uses 1,000 bags a year, right? So and even if you return them, there is nothing happening to them. Just since last year, China and India and Thailand, everybody has stopped taking all the recycling from US. So now the problem is
Not bags, paper bags.
so even paper is not free. At the end of the day, paper needs a lot of chemicals and water to be made, right? So bags are we are talking at the low hanging fruit, right? We are not talking about pollution in industries or pollution in home construction or road construction. Those are difficult problems to solve. But a carry bag is such a simple problem, right? People have been buying stuff and people have been carrying stuff since there were human beings. There were no bags or there were no plastic bags before. So the solution, like what Angelica was talking earlier, right? Either a tax on it or a surcharge or banning them, something like that is like unless we push for that,
I understand all those things. What I'm saying is, what do we do with all the bags that have accumulated over the months in our house? And then I don't find any Walmart or any Publix near where I live in Lilburn that are accepting those anymore. So, I didn't see any.
Which county you live in?
In Gwinnett, in Lilburn area. But as I said, that there are several grocery stores around where in the past, in other places, I could go and put them. Whatever they did with it is their headache.
Right.
But then now I cannot even, I don't put it in the recycle bin, nor can I take it to the store.
You can check with the centers. Recycle centers, sometimes they take them. Sandy Springs take them.
Well, that's too far from me.
Check with your recycle center.
So I understand what you're saying. So please try to, so there is a website called Earth911. If you go on that site and put in your zip code there, it will tell you what can be recycled where. So if you put your grocery bags there, there will surely be some store which will be accepting it, because if nobody accepts it, Whole Foods will. Okay. So
that's one thing. And the other question I had is about the juice or the milk cartons, the plastic bags. As you know that even if there is a little leftover at the bottom, it starts smelling or rotting. Do we have to first wash it off and then put it in the recycle bins?
Yes, you're right. So anything that goes in the recycle bin has to be rinsed.
Okay.
Ideally dried. Like moist is okay, but you try to get out all the water and then put it in the recycle.
And so obviously, before I forget, the paper milk cartons do not go into recycle, right?
No, they go.
I have a slide on that.
So you have a slide on that.
We'll come back to that. Yeah, okay. So we heard about recycling, right? So like we understand it's difficult, but what's the point? Why do we do it? So there are just some quick numbers. If you look at either paper, so 1 ton of recycled paper can save 17 trees, right? And 380 gallons of oil. So who knew that making paper, you are also, by wasting paper, you are not only wasting trees, you are also wasting oil, you are wasting energy, right? So there is point in recycling material. We cannot just, the cycle of life, right, what we were talking about. All these things they are coming from earth, but unless they go back in a proper way, unless they are disposed of, it becomes trash, right? So what is trash? Trash is not properly disposed of material. So that's why we recycle. I'm not going through numbers for each one of them. So if you see, I had those 4, right? Aluminum, glass, paper, steel. These are the items that go in your trash and that are easily recycled. I do not have plastic there because plastic is complicated, like what we are trying to understand, right? So I think we talked about it a little bit. The quality of plastic degrades every time you put it for recycling. So the first time, something that is a virgin plastic, a virgin object, second time it can become a carpet or some kind of filler. The third time, the only thing it can become is either your deck or some kind of bench. So the solid wooden plastic, right, which doesn't bend kind of thing. After that, it has no life. The materials that we saw before this, paper can be recycled about 7 to 8 times. Metals, glass, they can be recycled in finite number of times. Right? So we have to make a choice when we are looking at products and when we are buying things, right? So that is where we have to connect the dots and we have to understand what we are purchasing, what are the things we are buying. So towards the end, I'll talk a little bit about smart buying, like what changes we can make. But before we go there, just wanted to give a picture about trash we generate. So these numbers are from 2015. These are EPA numbers. So the total municipal solid waste. So this is waste generated from our homes. Okay. This is not industrial waste. This is not construction waste. This is not agriculture waste.
Numbers are for Georgia or?
No, this is for the entire country.
The US.
Okay, so this is for entire country. So 264 million tons of trash was generated in 2015. In US, we have about 300 million people. So that's close to a million ton of trash. Like everybody is generating 1 ton of trash, close to, right? That is about 4 pounds of trash a day. We do not realize how much we use, how much we waste, and look at this. The amount, if you break down the trash, right? A lot of it is paperboard. A lot of it is glass, metals. These things can be recovered. But look at this. This is from the first or the second session that we had, right? The composting. So the biggest crop that US grows is lawn, right? So what we are doing is we are cutting out plants, putting that grass there, then cutting it and then throwing it. So that cycle of doing something for, right? So she had a session who wants to print money. This is the session who wants to throw money. Right? That is what we are doing here. Right? So this thing, if you start composting, this is a big number that can be reduced. Okay? These are the things that can be recycled. So the next, out of all that trash that was generated that year from 2015, so half of it went to landfill. About a quarter of it was recycled, and about 12% of it was burnt. And this is 2015. Something happened in 2017, right? So all the Asian countries have stopped taking the recycling. So if you look at, we don't have the updated numbers. If you look at numbers from this year, this will go even down, and a lot of trash is now burnt out. So this number is going up and this number is going down. That is not where we want to go. We want this to go up and we want everything else to go down. Right? So, okay, one more slide about the materials. So we broke down all the materials. We talked about paper, glass, metals, everything. This is a trend over last 50 years. Paper is doing good. So we are recycling a lot of paper. That's easy. Glass is a struggle. Metals, why are we so bad at this? Lot of the cans, recycling metal is one of the easiest things you can do. And this is the one. So this is so low because it's complicated. And even if it was easy, there is no market for it. So what's the solution? Use less of it, right? That there is no other way. Otherwise, your plastic is going to stay there for ages and ages. Okay, so as we are talking about like how to reduce and what are the solutions. So again, a very quick game. We all buy this. And I bet you everybody has done the left hand side.
Yes.
And the right hand side is right next to it. Right? That's cheaper.
Mostly cheaper.
Right? So, okay. Now okay. So now this is one of those packaged things, right? So I should have not done that. Sorry. That was a trick question. Okay, so this is one of those packaged things. Okay, we can make our juice, not everybody can. It's the same product, sold in 2 packages. So the company that makes these things, these paper cartons, sells them as, so this is where like why it is a trick question, right? Things are sold to us. Why buying smart is difficult? Buying smart is sometimes difficult because when things are sold to you, this is sold to us because it's a paper carton. So what do you think? Which one is a better choice? We think this is a better choice, right? Now look at the challenge of that. Oh, sorry. That's the right answer, and that's the right answer because that paper carton that you saw, any paper carton, it has a layer of plastic, then it has paper pulp, another layer of plastic, it has aluminum in it, it has another 2 layers of plastic. So even though it's marketed as a paper product, it is, try to tear one of those off. When you go to your home, try to cut it, try to tear it. You cannot do anything to it. And I don't want to name the company, but cartons can only be recycled by the company that makes it. In our county, that company doesn't take those cartons. So I called them up. The way they recycle it is, these packs, the way they are recycled is, they try to scrape this 1 layer of plastic out and they try to recover this pulp. They try to recover it and rest of it, this aluminium, this plastic, it's all thrown out. So buying smart, again, is not easy, right? So even though, if you go now to your CVS and Walgreens, for people who are conscious, they have started selling water bottles in these paper bags. Now, everybody has water at home.
May I have your attention, please? The time is now 5 o'clock, and the library will remain open for 30 more minutes. If you need help finding materials,
okay.
register for a library card, please see a staff member. If you need to call for a ride home, you may use the phone at the desk. Thank you.
Okay, so we are about to finish. So again, buying smart is not easy, right? So we have to make conscious choices. So I'm trying to wrap it up. So the point of this session, right? We understand the value of recycling. We have to recycle. But before we go there, the picture that we were trying to present to you today, it's a bigger problem than recycling. The circle has to close, right? The loop has to close. And one of the bigger aspects of that is being aware of how much you buy, right? How much, like everything right from your clothes. I have a closet full of clothes that I can wear my entire life. Right? But I still go to Kohl's and then I get tempted. That's true for all of us, right? So it's the same thing for food, it's the same thing for everything else.